So what's going on, guys? This is part 2 of the previous video looking at drawing plain engineering drawings. So in this video we'll be looking at how to draw this drawing, and it's a bit complex. It's a bit more complex compared to the previous drawing. So we are going to cover all the basics, and after that you'll be able to draw anything that looks like this or even far complicated than this. Alright, so before you start drawing, you have to look at this and realize that you're going to be dealing with a lot of eccentric circles. They are called concentric circles. Okay, a circle here, a circle there, and then another circle there. So many circles, mostly, in order to determine the centers. Okay, so we usually start off with the general thing, and in this case that would be the outer circle. So after that we could choose to go for the next circle. We start off with the simpler parts, and additionally we could add the small tiny circles. So we'll see how to go about this. Okay, so let's go over to AutoCAD and start with the big circle. So this one is actually it has a diameter of, okay, so the outer circle has a diameter of, that's 60 times 2. Okay, so we just take the radius, that's 60. Then the next inner circle has a radius of 54, and then the one that follows will have a circular part here. This one has a radius of 20. Then the next one will have a radius of 15, and so on. So let's start off with those three, actually 4 circles. Okay, then we work our way around those 4 circles to produce the those complex shaped holes. Okay, so going over to AutoCAD, we take the circle tool. We are using circle, radius, center and radius. So the first one has we want a radius of 60. So I forgot to change the layer, so we need to work with layer 0, and then I also change to layer 0 here. Alright, so now we need to make sure this is active, circle center, in order to locate the center. Okay, then the next one has a radius of 54. So again, circle tool, point here, radius of 54, and another one has a radius of this is 20, and then 15. Okay, so again, point so that the center appears, type the radius, then again just point the circle so that the center appears, then we type 15. Okay, so those major circles are finished, they're done, and next we should try to make these divisions. Okay, now this is the lines should be at an angle of 30 to the angle should be 30 here, so that means the vertical line should divide the 30 into 15 and 15 this side, so that should be easy to compute. Now we also need to recognize that this center line, these 3 center lines are at 120 degrees to each other, because this is symmetrical. This is a symmetrical object. So since we only have 3 lines, then we simply divide by 360 by 3, and we get 120 for the angles in between. Okay, so let's go over to AutoCAD, draw a vertical line, and draw this line, and then draw that line. So get the line tool, start off with a vertical line. That's the easiest. Make sure the angle is 90 degrees. Okay, now we need to make the angle of 120. So from here to we could start with a horizontal line if we needed to, but we don't really need it. We could simply make the math. In order to have 120 degrees, this should be 90. It should be 90 plus 30. Okay, so now 30 is going to be 330. Okay, because we are counting counterclockwise. Okay, AutoCAD is measuring that angle counterclockwise. So 330, so get the line tool again. Now counterclockwise, at this point we have 180, but same thing, the angle between this and that line, that is 90, so plus 30 degrees. That means we are adding 30 degrees to the 180, so that we get something like 210, exactly 210. Okay, so click. Alright, so in order to make sure you are getting all those angles, you have to consider this polar tracking. Use incremental angles of 5, 10, 15, 20. It's easier. Or alternatively, you could use 10, 20, 30, 40. So don't use any of these. So use this. Okay. And yeah, we have those 3 lines. So now we'll measure 30 degrees, 15 from this vertical. So again, getting the line tool, we simply subtract 15 from 90. That should give us 75. Okay, so look for where the angle says 75, right there. And we do the same thing here. We simply add, on 90 degrees we add 15. That should give you 105 there. Okay, so now we are ready to draw the first that shape. Okay, so we need to consider the radius of this arc. There's an arc here, so we are basically going to draw circles here. And then same thing, we draw a circle here, because this is the same as this. Everything is symmetrical. So this is R6 and this is R3. Okay, so going back to AutoCAD, we are going to use tan and radius. Okay, yeah, we want a circle touching tangential to the line, to two surfaces, but given the radius. Okay, so it should be tangential to this, tangential to that, and it has a radius of 6. Same thing here, tangential to this, tangential to that, it has a radius of 6. This one has a radius of 3, so tangential to that, tangential to this, and radius of 3. Do the same thing here, tangential to that, radius of 3. Okay, so yeah, now that part is done. So now what we're going to do is to trim. Do we need to trim right now? Yeah, I think we do. Okay, yeah, so we do need to trim at this point. Yeah, it's easier, we just trim and take the object and rotate it, just like that. Okay, maybe before we do that, it's better we complete this other object first before we trim, because we might lose that inner circle, the one of radius 54. So let's deal with this. We have a circle, radius 10, this one also radius 10, Since it's symmetrical, this one is also radius 10. Okay, so for that we need to realize that this sits between there's a 10-degree displacement from here, so it should be the same 10-degree displacement from there. So let's first deal with this line. Yeah, okay, so get the line tool, look for that center, and we are adding so 90 plus 15 plus 10, we are adding 25 to 90 degrees, so that should give us 115, exactly 115. Okay, there. And yeah, so from this side we'll be subtracting 15 from this line, and then we also subtract another 10, so we are subtracting a total of 25. So basically what we are doing, originally we added 30 degrees to the 180. So now imagine this is at 30 degrees, so we are basically doing 210 minus 25. Okay, or rather the 30 degrees minus 25, so that should give us a balance of 5. So we are adding only 5 to 180. So get the line tool, this is 180, so 185 there. Okay, so our thing is going to sit between that and that, so we go ahead and tangential to that, radius 10. Repeat this 3 more times. Here and 10, then here and 10. Okay, so now we can go ahead and trim. So just select the entire object and simply type trim, enter, and we want to trim here, and we trim here, then here, then we also trim this, that, and there. Then of course we are going to make it clean. At first let me just show you where the object is. Object we want is those objects, so we can go ahead and get rid of this and that, get rid of that and that. So we already have that object. Same thing with this, you can just do that, easier that. So we can, okay, delete that. Okay, so we have those objects and we want to, okay, can escape and get rid of this. And yeah, since this is going to be some kind of symmetry, okay, we'll figure that out later on. Okay, so now the first part is done. So what we are going to do next is we have this and we have this, so we don't need to draw everywhere. We simply have to copy and paste, then rotate. Okay, copy, paste, rotate, as simple as that. Yeah, so in order to do that, we have to first create those lines of symmetry. So yeah, this one is directly opposite to this one, and this one is directly opposite to that, and this is directly opposite to that. So we simply extend the lines. Okay, so get this, lengthen it, and get that, lengthen, then we have one more, lengthen this one. Okay, so now that is done, we're simply going to copy, and so we copy using this as the base point, then paste it here, then rotate. Okay, all right, so now what we're going to do is to copy these shapes to the other positions that we are interested in. Okay, so that's very easy. We just use the copy command, simply type CO, but first you need to select the lines that make up the object that we want to copy. Okay, so that's the object selected, then simply type CO, press enter, select the base point. So we want to select exactly here at that intersection, and we want to copy it to that point, that intersection. Then we also want to copy it to this intersection. You can press escape. Now what we are going to do is to rotate them so that the orientation is this and this orientation is that. So for that we are going to rotate by reference. Okay, so click, select this, and let's rotate this first. So make sure you select exactly the items that you want to rotate. Okay, so it will be easier if we just grouped this, but let's not group it. Let's just select and rotate the pieces at the same time. Okay, so simply type rotate. First you specify the base point. Okay, now you could do the trial and error thing of rotating until you assume that is the angle, but that is too much work. But what we are going to do is to rotate by, reference. There's reference. Okay, now you could click reference, or as I normally like to use the keyboard, I simply type R for reference, press enter. Now just follow the instruction, specify the reference angle. So I'll select from that point, and I'm trying to determine the angle of reference. So I want my angle of reference to be that. We'll just look at it as a line, that green line, which is vertically 90 degrees. So simply click, and now the instructions are to specify the new angle. So now I'm going to rotate the object in this direction, and the new angle should be along this line or at this intersection, whichever you choose. So I'll simply choose here, and we're done. So we do the same thing here, and simply select this, and that. Same thing, type rotate, specify the base point. We want that intersection, then by reference R, then the angle is 90. We could simply type enter, but I prefer not to do it. Let me just draw that line. That's 90. So oh, I forgot the first point. It should be that point. So this is a bit tricky, but it will still work. But let me just do it again. Okay, I was supposed to select the base point as my first point before going upwards. Okay, so select that and that, then rotate, and specify base point, this one, then reference, then first point is this one, second point is around there. So now we can rotate, then we want to rotate up to there. Okay, so that is done. We do the same thing here. First we copy, paste, then rotate. So copy, and we want to copy from here, so we paste here, yes, then we paste also here. Make sure you get that right. Now for the fun part, the rotation. Okay, select the pieces that make up the object, then type rotate, enter, select the base point, then press R, copy by reference. So we want yeah, actually this is a bit hard compared to the other one because the other one was vertical, but we'll specify the reference angle. First we choose the first point, and it should actually go via the midpoint. Should go via the midpoint, so let me activate midpoint because I want that line to go via the midpoint of this object. Okay, so let me look for that midpoint. It's well, apparently there. Okay, there, and okay, so we move it to there. Okay, yeah, that one is a bit hard, but it's still doable and easier than the trial and error method of rotating until you find the actual point. So same thing with this one, rotate, specify the base point, then press R for reference, specify that as my first point, and now we need a midpoint of that. You make sure you zoom in until at least you see that midpoint. Okay, now we rotate it and choose the intersection as our final point. Alright, so our object has been properly rotated. So yeah, what are we left to do now is to draw these. Okay, yeah, but first I'm going to have to clean it out a bit, remove the unnecessary parts before I continue. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this. And I'll leave that for now. But I'll get rid of all this, and this I think I don't need it anymore. Let me check. Yeah, I don't need that anymore, so press delete, and I think I don't need that line anymore. I will just leave the major lines. Okay, so I'm going to need these for the centers of these circles. Right, so what I'm going to do is first to extend this so that it goes, oh, it just went away. I think I'm meant to extend from this side up to that side. Okay, so that is enough. Alright, so now we are going to draw these other circles. They are supposed to be right in the middle of this. Okay, so now this is 10 degree, and so the line is supposed to be at 5 degrees. Okay, line is supposed to be at 5 degrees. Okay, so now in order to draw those tiny circles, we need to determine the centers. We have that is a center line, but now we need to determine the intersection. Okay, the intersection for the exact point where we place the circle. And for that we are going to put lines 5 degrees from this one. Okay, alright, so this is already 15, so 15 plus 5, so that is 20. But remember, we are moving from the 90 degree line so we are basically 20 degrees away from 90 degrees. So before I continue, let me get rid of midpoint. So we actually have 70, okay, because that is 20 degrees away from 90, so 70 here, and 20 degrees after 90 should give us 110. So we have 110 there. Okay, so we are going to do the same thing. We are going to rotate the lines to fit here. Okay, so we just copy and copy and rotate basically. Yeah, that's what we're going to do, because if we extend, they are not going to do what we need. Yeah, so we just copy and rotate. Or we could simply do the math, because copy and rotate is not going to work very well since we'll be pasting in the same position, so it might not do us any good, but it would still work. Okay, so yeah, copy, so this is my base point, the intersection, and I'll just simply paste at the intersection. Now paste the third time and escape. So now we have three objects there, but we can't actually see them. So I'll rotate the first object, rotate this as my base point, then by reference, and my reference is the reference angle from here to there. So okay, now let me rotate this to meet that. Okay, so that is the first item. So again, select, remember there were three, so rotate, select the base point, this one, then by reference select the first point, second point, and choose that. Okay, so now, okay, that was easy. Now we need a circle of it has a diameter of 6. Okay, so that says 6 holes, diameter of 6. We simply choose that. So a circle there with a diameter of 6. So we simply copy this circle to the other areas. Okay, we'll copy the intersection and I'll simply paste here, paste there, here and there, then finally there, and we can escape, and after that we can get rid of these lines. They've already served their purpose. Get rid of these, and also can get rid of that. Okay, so far so good. We have all this. Now what we are left with are these holes right here. Okay, so with these it's the same thing. We divide this good thing, we already have the lines, so all we need to do is to determine at which position from the center these circles are placed, and I don't see it here. Okay, so we are missing that dimension and measurement from the center to the center of this circle. Okay, we are missing that, but they have a diameter of 4. Okay, so they have a diameter of 4, so yeah, there's a missing dimension there. I'm going to just assume it's something about because this is a radius of 15, so I'll assume the center for this is a radius of say 8. Okay, I'll take 8 or 9. 8 or 9, I'll just take 8. So first I'll draw a circle of radius 8. Actually 9 is better, 10 is also better, so we'll take 10 or 11. Let's just take 11 because if the diameter is 4 and that is 11, then the circle pass at around 12. Okay, so let's just take 10. Okay, so the circles are 6, so one circle is there, another one is there, another one is there, and so on. Okay, now they are actually 8, they are not 6, they are 8. So it means we have to divide this again. Wait, they are 6, sorry for that, they are 6. Yeah, they are actually 6. Okay, we have a diameter of 4. So circle diameter of 4. Okay, that's my circle right there. So we are going to simply copy and paste just like before. Copy there, paste here, and finally here. So that is done. Get rid of that circle. Okay, so looks like our item is finally ready for the final part. So the final part would be to reduce this all the way to that center, reduce this to there, and also reduce this to there. Okay, then we could make it a little bit smaller. Same thing with this. Yeah. So these are our center lines. There. Okay, so I think our item is done. Let's check to see whether we have all the parts. Yeah, so we have everything except for the dimensions. I'm not going to do that because we did that in the previous video. So the only thing left to do is to specify the layers. So simply select this and make it outline. If the lines are not this thick, then you can show or hide. So let's show. And now we simply take these 3 lines and put them under center. Okay, so this is our object. Okay, yeah, and it took us quite a while, but you can do this in under 15 or less minutes. Okay, yeah.